Himali. Noni! All right, welcome. Yes, absolutely it is. Thank you. Let's welcome a few of you into the room. Divya, hi. Himali, hello. Gunika, Bhavani, Anshu, Vandana, Millie, Priyanka, thank you. Sush, Patnayak, Gayatri, Shruti, Mansi saying South Bana, Beauty in Black. Yes, thank you. Actually, I just went for some sort of a shoot to help one of my friends and she put artificial lashes for me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have artificial lashes on, so interesting. I normally don't put anything like that, but it was a photo shoot and I was enjoying myself, so I said lagado. So yeah. All right. Love you, Noni. Millie saying ring is different. Yes, new ring. Just picked it up. Do you like it? Got my goddess manual just now. Fabulous, Priya. So happy. Seeing you always brings positivity. Thank you, Nisha. Loved your wedding pictures, Mansi. I so wanted to do Insta live from Udaipur. The place was so gorgeous. We were staying in this hotel called Uday Vilas. Right opposite was Leela and Taj. Each property was lit up at night looking gorgeous. But we were running from function to function and there was absolutely no time to do a live from there. But I would have so loved to have just taken you on a chakkar at least, but I'm sure I did try to cover it up with so many stories that I put. So thank you for all of you who noticed. Thank you for all of you who sent in all the compliments. Really appreciate that. Okay, Neha is asking how not to take out your frustration on your kids when I have tons of people, incompleted tasks, and kids are also not being independent in their study. Neha, I think the most important thing to know this is that unhealed women tend to remove their wounds onto their children. And then what happens? Children carry those wounds and then they turn into unhealed adults. Okay. So I think the fact that we can't look after our own emotions, but we want our children to manage themselves better is just an unfair thing. How can a 5-year-old know better than a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old? True or not? So what we are all the time expecting is that our children should be mature enough to make the right decisions. But if they don't make the right decisions, then we also don't have to make the right decisions. Then we can behave the way we like with them. And I think that's a very scary place to be in. I think, I had read this quotation somewhere and it really landed in my heart that when you abuse your children in any form, whether it's in anger or by labeling them or calling them names, it's not that they don't believe themselves. It's not that they don't believe you. It's that they stop believing in themselves. It's not that they don't believe you. They stop believing in themselves. And you want to be so careful that you don't raise children with low self-esteem, because then their whole life they have to work with their self-esteem. True or not? So I think learning the fact that your life being messy does not or should not translate into you making your children's life messy is very important. So see if you can start to journal, your behavior with your children, how you maintain your equilibrium. If you don't have any idea, come for my awakening course. It's all around helping women to become emotionally stable and heal those wounds that we are carrying sometimes from childhood, even sometimes trauma from childhood, because you know what, till we don't heal them, guess what, somebody else will cut us, but we'll end up bleeding on someone else. And you want to be so careful, because the one you'll end up bleeding on will have its own wounds then, yeah? Thank you. Praya Kritika, I would like to change my life, but I don't know where to begin. Presi Kritika. My dear Presi, I think the fastest way to change your life is to start to write gratitude. Every single day, write gratitude for whatever is currently present in your life that you can be grateful for. Apart from that, if you truly want to start to design your life, look at what do you want to be, where do you want to be 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 1 year from now. What are those goals that you'd like to set? What are the things you need to say to yourself for those goals to become more believable? So the more affirmations, visualizations you land up doing, we start to design our destiny at that point. Remember, my course is called Life by Design, and there's a reason why I call it Life by Design, because all of us are capable of designing our lives. It's just that sometimes we just allow for others to control it. Toxic people, toxic situations just come over, take over, and we start to feel lost, stuck, frustrated, but we don't have the courage to stand up to do what it is that we need to do. So I'm going to really request you today to start to look at how can you become more future centric, plan, and then start to walk towards whatever that path it is that you've created. It is a 1 second decision or a split second decision that you need to make, where you start to say, I don't any longer want to live in my past. I want to now create a future so fabulous that I disassociate or forget that that was even my past. And when we live a life which becomes so fabulous that we can't recognize our own selves in the past, you know you've done something right? Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, Millie, Shilpa. Chaitanya Rajshekhar, how to prioritize the work in starting of the day. Chaitanya, how I like to plan my day is first few hours in the morning I like to spend with myself, where I really go into my morning routine. After which I look at what are those things that I need to achieve. So every single day I write something called the Rule of 5. I learned this from my mentor Jack Canfield. He had written a book called the Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he wanted it to become a bestseller. So what he did was every single day he said, I'm going to do 5 things every single day towards making this book a bestseller. And he would write it on post-it notes and put it on the wall behind him. And can I tell you, within 18 months, the book hit not only bestseller, but came into the Guinness Book of World Record for being the maximum book sold under one title ever. And not only that, what he did was then he took all those parchees, the post-it notes that he had put, and then he wrote a book saying 1,000 steps on how you can make your book a bestseller. So I want you to start to go, what's that one big thing I want to achieve? And then every day, can you start to do 3 to 5 things every day towards whatever it is that you'd like to prioritize in your life? I wish my book was here. It's outside. I draw this lovely little frog. I learned this concept from Brian Tracy. I learned this concept from Brian Tracy, and one of the things I really learned in that was, 1 minute, I'm just going to remove my other earring also. Yeah. Eat That Frog. So his book's name is Eat That Frog. I'd love for you to get that book. It's called Eat That Frog. And in that he speaks about every morning you must do the most important task before noon. Remember, our highest energy is in the first half of the day. So the more we can get the most important thing done early in the morning, the more easily we'll be able to maneuver ourselves. Okay? Moody Baby saying, miracles have happened. Yesterday I attended your Zoom session. So happy to have you. Why yesterday you didn't come today, my darling? It was supposed to be a 3 days law of attraction session. I hope some of you came for all the 3 days. Namu, so cute. Puja, thank you for existing in this world. Thank you, Namu. God bless you. I love your blush. Can you please tell the name? I don't know the name of this. I think it must be NARS Orgasm. I think I used liquid today. So it's a liquid one. So it's, and you know what I do? I actually mix a lot of my makeup. So none of my makeup is actually original. So I'll first put that, then on top I'll put shimmery matte, then on top I'll put something else, and that's with my lipsticks, with my everything is like 2-3 items, it's never one. Durga Nandi, ma'am, if I tried many methods to be positive but I ended up being so much negative, I am having very low self-esteem. Durga, the fact that you've recognized itself, I want you to congratulate you. All of us at some points in our life hit that negative point. So it's totally okay if you've hit it. The only thing I'd love for you to start to do from today onwards is a lot of gratitude. Remember, gratitude is an instant shifter of energy. Our mind loves to focus on things that we can complain about, things that we can blame on other people. We love living in victim energy. You want to get out of victim energy, my sweetheart, and the easiest way to get out of victim energy is when we start to write every day, I'm grateful to God for dash, dash, dash and dash. I'm grateful to God for, and in the beginning it may seem very fake to you because you're like, nothing is going right in my life. What am I doing this silly gratitude for? But you know what? That silly gratitude will eventually change the entire chemicals in your brain, and a day will come where you will just start to feel positive for no reason. Happiness will start to come back into your life. Joy will start to come back into your life. And as all of those things come back, there's a certain amount of energy that will happen. So in the beginning, all of these activities, visualization, affirmation, gratitude may seem like so fake, but can I tell you, you last long enough and that will turn into your reality. Okay? When I see you, ma'am, I start smiling. That's so sweet. God bless you. How to manifest for my health issues? I really want to get well soon from the postpartum health issues. You know what? The whole concept of manifestation is ask, believe, receive, right? I always say there's one more step. Ask, believe, take action, receive. So have clarity in exactly what in your health are you asking for. Then every single day to believe that, affirm to yourself, I'm getting healthier. I'm feeling, more joyous in my body. I'm feeling like healing and repair is happening. I'm enjoying the good health and high energy that I'm experiencing today. Things like this, as you keep on saying things like that and you start to really feel them in your body, suddenly you will start to see evidence in your life of that. And when that evidence starts to come, I can assure you, you will start to be able to visualize. As you visualize that, it will start to move into that direction. I was just watching Sadhguru's video this morning and he said something very interesting. Already you're having problems. On top, you're letting depression hit you. That's a double bang, right? So you don't want to get into a double bang. So it's your duty to do things purposefully that give you joy. And a lot of times when in the beginning, when you start to do things that you think will give you joy, they don't land up giving you joy. Yet continue to do them. A time will come with those little tweaks, that something or the other you will find. And when you start to do things that give you joy, there's a certain energy rise that will happen in your body with which you'll be able to attract so much better. So bless you, my sweetheart. And if you still feel like postpartum health issues especially is you're not being able to recover from it by yourself, find a coach or a psychiatrist or a doctor that you may need to go to. Sometimes just 1 week of medication can get us out from that slump that we've got stuck in. So I'm a big believer that while you can fix a lot with your mindset, sometimes we hit rock bottom and we need some sort of chemical help, and that's totally okay. I think mental health issues are not just spoken about enough, Amita, how to be consistent in being in a high energy state most of the time? I always say this, that, every day choose to be in your highest enthusiasm, okay? Start to do jumping jacks, start to speak in a manner where people can experience your energy. They say fake it till you make it. That's not my favorite sentence. So I like to say act as if. Act as if you're an energetic person. How would an energetic person sit? How would an energetic person speak? How would an energetic person experience life? Start to do that, and when you do it long enough, your energy will automatically start to become that, okay? So if you are always someone who's walking and talking like this, then what is the chances that this is your energy level? And if you choose to speak like this and you choose to open up your entire energy and walk around life with bold enthusiasm, knowing that you have a purpose and you're walking towards it, and you bring in all of that energy, automatically you will start to feel it. I think a lot of times we just allow for the outside energy, which is very contagious, to catch us, and then we fall. Instead, I'd love for you to start to go, what my exterior, what my external energy is, I don't care about. My internal energy comes from my own nuclear reactor. You know, nuclear plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy. So remember, your body can generate energy the minute you say, I'd like to. Every time I'm coming in for a session, I'll do 10 jumping jacks. You know why? Because I don't want to come into this session like this. I want to come into the session with all of what I have to give, because remember, energy flows from top to low, okay? So top down it flows. So you always want, if you want to help people, you want to be in your highest energy, because it will flow in that manner. There will be people you will meet where you will feel like coming away from them, I feel so much better about who I am. And then you will meet people, coming away from them, you will feel drained in your energy. Draining energy is by people who are lower in energy, and if you feel higher energy or inspiration or empowered, that's because you've hung out with someone who has more energy than you. Now, become a gift to the world. What do I mean when I say become a gift to the world? Start to operate from high energy, and then everyone who experiences you will leave better than whatever they came into your environment for. Yeah? So while I don't know if I really answered how to be consistent with your high energy, I definitely think that I'd love for you to pretend for some time like you have a lot of high energy, and honestly, over time, that's who you'll become. Now I don't even notice it. Like when I go somewhere, people will be like, whoa, because I'll be like, hello, and always with that, and they'll be like, Puja, when you walk in, energy walks in with you. Yeah, because that's who I've become over the years of practicing being in high energy, you know? So it's all about practice. Write down this word, practice high energy. Sasi Priya, how to fill my emptiness so that I can make others happy, how to overcome triggering people. Sasi Priya, for me, the most important thing when to understand emptiness is that all of us were born connected with the Supreme, okay? And there is this emptiness that sits inside of us. When we were born, there's something called the veil of amnesia. What is the veil of amnesia? We have forgotten that the real thing that fills us up is the Supreme. And so when we get disconnected with the Supreme, we keep trying to connect with other human beings, thinking someone will make us feel complete. Someone will approve, give us approval, acknowledge us, validate us, give us the permissions, appreciate us. And we become very needy of that constant attention from the world, where we are saying, I am important, look at me. And one of the ways that our emptiness gets fulfilled is through the appreciation, acknowledgement, approval that we get from other people. But that is very need dependent, which means it makes us very needy. Today onwards, I want you to pick up this invisible crown in front of you and put it on your head, and every single morning say, I am a queen. I am a queen who's here to give. And you know what? The more I give to the world, the more my God will give to me. And when you start to develop a relationship with God, your emptiness will start to fill up. You no longer will need other people's validation. You yourself will validate yourself. And when we fall in love with ourselves, when we start to value ourselves, we stop feeling empty inside. The first 10 years of my marriage, forever I used to be like, Puneet, you don't love me, you don't appreciate me, you didn't notice this, you didn't notice my haircut, you didn't notice my hair color, you didn't know. And forever I used to be this constant nagging cha-cha kind of a woman. And I can tell you, over the years, as I have connected with the Supreme, as I feel so divinely one with whatever that energy is, I no longer feel the need for other people to keep on giving me approval. I feel very complete within. And you know what? Our soul's purpose is not to look for all of this outside, but to turn around and look for it inside. Inside all of us, we have everything it takes to fulfill that emptiness. That's if we are willing to look inside. So The biggest thing that I can tell you is from today onwards, sit in your meditation and know that there is this power, this energy that we download when we sit with ourselves. The more you spend time with yourself, the more your emptiness will start to reduce. And how to overcome triggering people? Simply by knowing this, that no one is triggering us purposefully. That is the job their soul was given when they were coming on earth. Remember that good things don't push us towards our mission. Normally something has to go wrong in our environment for us to go towards our mission. So these are people who I call disguised angels. And the more they trigger you, the more change you'll want in your life. The more change you'll want, the more you'll be willing to get out of your comfort zone. And so remember, this is a cycle. If you look back in your life and every time you have grown, you will realize somebody negative was in your environment that facilitated your growth. And instead of thanking them, we tend to abuse them because we think, oh, they are constantly poking us. But the real truth is that in that poking is God's design to get us to get up and start to live our life with our, one of the best sentences I learned was, I am responsible for my own happiness. I am responsible for my own happiness. And I can tell you, the more I said, every time someone would have hurt me or say something nasty or land up, labeling me, I would say, I am responsible for my own happiness, Puja. These people are not responsible for my happiness. I will manage me myself. So it really helps. See, Sasipriya, if any of this helps you, darling. Priyanka Patel, what is self-esteem? To me, self-esteem is our opinion of us. How much on a 1 to 10 do you love yourself? On a 1 to 10, how much do you trust yourself? On a 1 to 10, how dependable are you? When you say you're going to wake up at 6 tomorrow morning, do you wake up at 6 tomorrow morning? Some of us keep saying things that we do not really mean. That means self-esteem is very low, okay? So the best way to work on your self-esteem is to start to make promises and then keep them, okay? The more you can fall in love with who you are, the more you can like the person behind this face, the more you will be able to have higher self-esteem. And remember, the job of the world is to keep on. Every day, every morning we get thappads. Kabhi life se, kabhi Bhagwan se, kabhi logo se, kabhi, so constantly our self-esteem is being pushed down. If we start only on a 3 on 10, we are going to fall very quickly. By lunch, we will not feel like taking any risks because doubt and fear will just take over. So you want to really start to operate from a place where you start to build and design a life so beautiful that you trust yourself, you speak the truth, you live in your integrity, you're closely knowing your values and living in your values. The more you do all of that, the better it'll be. Ma'am, can you talk a little bit about law of attraction? I'd love for you to come for my session, my sweetheart. I believe there are 3 kinds of laws, which is law of attraction, law of vibration, and law of resonance. Law of attraction is all about having clarity of thought. Law of vibration is all about keeping your energy in an optimistic situation or position so that you can constantly be magnetic. Remember, your thoughts create electric charge, your feelings create magnetic charge. So your thoughts go out in the world and look for the things that you want, and then magnetically your feelings pull back those things into your life. That's law of vibration. And then there's law of resonance, which is we do not get what we desire, we get what we deserve. And we deserve through what opinion we have of ourselves. So the higher your opinion of yourself, the more you can trust yourself, the more in alignment your conscious mind and your subconscious mind is, the better you'll be able to attract. So if you had to ask me the 3 pillars of law of attraction, one is ask, one is keep yourself in your highest emotional state. Do not go into complaining and blaming. Michelle Obama says this very beautifully, when they go low, I go high. So when things around you start to get chaotic, instead of going down with them, you stand in your power, you stay calm, you handle the storm with your peace, and you see how different you will feel in your body about yourself. And as you fall in love with yourself, law of resonance will automatically start to take play, because you know what, when we start to like who we are, the chances are then when we start to value who we are, the things that we want to attract start to want to come to us. Okay, So I hope a little bit of law of attraction class you've got today. Of course, if you want a detailed one, come for it when the next time I do it, yeah? Himali, ma'am, after getting trained under you as a life coach, I am unable to find the leads to convert. I feel so burnt out. I feel I'm in the wrong profession. Is this my limiting belief or is it my reality? Himali, my sweetheart, oh my God, this is so sad to hear. Darling, so many of you are doing so fabulously well. So I definitely think that this must be a limiting belief, because tell me one reason. Are you any less smarter? Are you not capable? What is it that could stop you from earning unless you're not marketing yourself? So the biggest issue I see whenever someone gets trained under me and does not land up getting results is because they are not following the processes that I have taught you so many times over. So I would love for you to start to look at how is so and so. I can take about 25 names right now who are all earning more than 2 lakhs a month, having done the exact same course that you've done. Then how come they can and you can't? Okay, so I would love for you, remember that it's not about making right decisions. We have to make the decision and make it right. So now that you decided that you wanted to become a life coach, why aren't you applying everything? Would you agree the world is suffering? How many people are there in this room right now? Himali, have a look. 257 of you or 255 of you, correct? So when 255 people are coming week after week seeking their answers, would you agree that there must be a lot of people outside who are suffering? And we have the medicine to suffering people. Should we not be helping them? My suggestion, Himali, just start going out and helping them. All of this burnout is happening because you're not earning money through the craft that you have. I'd love for you to come back, do coaching mastery again, use all those principles, my sweetheart, and start to become that rock star that I know you are. I personally know you, so I know you are a rock star, and to see you fail like this, it's very, very disappointing. Not just for you, for me also. You know why? Because I know what you're capable of. And sometimes what happens is our environment just pulls us down and we get stuck in this rut of thinking and believing that maybe I'm not capable or maybe this profession is wrong. Can I tell you, too many people are going to succeed, and as you see all of them cross, you'll start to at some point wonder that how come, why did I give up on myself so easily? So sweetheart, don't do that, darling. I really hope that you're going to get in touch with some big sister. You're going to get in touch with somebody, including me, and you're going to get back on track. And you know what? It takes very little time to get back on track. 1, 2, 3 more clients and you'll get your charge right there. Yeah? Alka Puranik, why is it that some people lack self-esteem and find it extremely difficult to say no despite the fact that they know it can destroy them? You know what? In the society that we live, from a very young age, we are trained to not honor our emotions but to prioritize other people. Unfortunately, when we grow up with that sort of training, we don't have the confidence to say no, because from such a little age, we've been saying yes, 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 even though we know that what we don't want to do. So many times our children says, but mom, I don't want to do that. Whether you like it or you don't, you have to, okay, because I'm saying so, I'm the mother. And we speak that kind of language. So if you see people who lack self-esteem, more than self-esteem, it is an issue of being a people pleaser. From a very young age, we are asked to keep everyone around us happy. It's almost like it's our duty to make sure that everyone around us is happy. Whether we are happy or not doesn't matter, but everyone around us should be happy. And when that sort of training takes seeding in our body, we tend to then find it very hard to set boundaries or disappoint people. One of the things I do in my awakening course is teach ladies how to set boundary and how to make sure that we become okay with disappointing the people we love for some time, knowing that once we become successful, automatically a time will come where we will be able to fix whatever equation is gone wrong. Yeah? Deepti, how to let go of children abroad for studies? I feel you, my darling, for both of mine are in London right now. So, it's never easy. Having said that, the more faith and surrender you have in God, the more you can look at what is good for your child rather than what is your needs emotionally. I find those kind of parents extremely selfish who say, oh, isne to shaadi karke chale jana hai. I don't want to send her abroad to study because, and you know what? Now it's time for them to live their life. For your own emotions or your own needs, please do not hold your children back. The other day I read a very nice sentence. I hope I can remember it. And it said, learning to let our children take risks in protected environments is the biggest gift we can give them. So when they get exposed to going out and doing whatever it is so lovely. And at the end of the day, I always ask myself, my emotions are more important or their life? And to me, it's always going to be their life is more important than my emotions. I will learn to manage my emotions, but let them go make something of themselves and make me proud. True or not? So today onwards, instead of, thinking about yourself, just start to really pray. I always pray to God, God, just protect my children. Just, the only prayer I have every single day is that, because what else to pray? I always say, God, you look after the people I love, I will look after the people you love. So let's do a barter. So things like that help me keep my faith. Otherwise, there are days when you just miss them so terribly. Okay, I'm going to go right to the bottom so that I don't miss anyone's messages. How to be more practical than emotional. I think it's a combination. I don't think either or is the right thing. Honestly, I am someone who's very intuitive and I love following my emotions. If I'm feeling any certain way, I love to follow that. So if you are an emotional person, somehow in this world, because masculine energy leads, because we are guided by the patriarchal rules of the world, we've been taught that emotional is not a good thing. But I honestly believe that in life, we all are not sensitive enough. Often we are accused of being too sensitive. I think this world would be a better place if we were too sensitive towards Mother Earth, too sensitive towards animals, too sensitive towards children dying of hunger, too sensitive towards all these various causes. So I think somebody who has their emotional energy still open is a very beautiful human being. Now, I'm not saying don't be practical, but I'm definitely saying that, marry the two. So look at what would I do if I was practical? What would I do if I was emotional? Now, how can I make a combination of it so that I'm in balance? Because any one of them would be an extreme. So if you had to ask me which one is more important, it's like to me always breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in is one, breathing out is one. Which one is more important? Both are extremely important, right? All the time, if we are practical, we will numb ourselves of the emotion. And guess what? When we numb ourselves of the pain, we also numb ourselves of the good. So we then don't know how to feel happy. Later on in life, we start to go, I don't know, nothing gives me joy. You know why nothing gives you joy? Because you numbed yourself. You did not value your emotions at the time that they needed to be valued. So I feel like for those of us who are only practical, we are shutting down all that actually makes us human. Otherwise, we would all be robots, right? So why would we not want to experience the full range of all the emotions? When I go even to see a movie, I cry as if that's the truth. Puneet will be like, baby, Kajol is very happily married to Ajay Devgan. Stop crying. She's just doing acting. And I'm like, no, because I'll feel that pain. So that's just who I am. And I'm a big believer of honoring my emotions, okay? Having said that, of course you need a practical side, there's no doubt about it, which means exactly what I spoke about a minute earlier, that then I will start to explain to myself that, you know what, if this is good for my child, if this is good for my husband, then instead of prioritizing my emotions, which I'm not going to deny myself how I'm feeling, I'm just going to choose better. So after I've understood how I'm feeling, then I choose better. Yeah? Sparkling Soul Heals. Ma'am, please suggest some activities which we can do to gain happiness. Sparkling Souls, what I would love for you to do is, before every activity, just ask yourself this question. How can I enjoy my cup of tea a little more? How can I enjoy anything that you're planning to do? Why shouldn't every single activity give you happiness? How can you bring in the happiness into activity? For me, even painting my nails, I will look for how can I feel happier painting my nails. Everything that you're going to do, if you are saying something like I have to do this, start to say I choose to do it. I get to do it. And that shifts our energy completely towards anything. So if I say I have to get up tomorrow morning, that won't give me happiness. But if I start to say, I get to get up every morning, I choose to get up every morning, it's a very different energy. So when you change your vocabulary, you change your emotional range. So I'd love for you to start to address everything as a lot of excitement. There was a time we have a gym in the house and I would go to the gym and I would just drag myself because gym is not my favorite activity. So then when Puneet made a swimming pool, I said, you know what, I want to swim every day. But the first 2 days that I entered the pool, the water was so cold that I was like, nah, I don't even like swimming. And you know what? I realized that what I'm doing is towards every exercise, because it gives me, it's stretching me or it's outside my comfort zone, I tend to create a filter of negativity. So from that day, I said, you know what, for the next 100 days, I'm going to swim every day with a positive smile on my face. When I would enter my swimming pool, I would say, oh my God, this is heaven. People don't have water to have bath here. I have a swimming pool. What's wrong with me? And I would do so much gratitude in the water that till today, I think it's almost 2 years now, whenever I will enter water, the first word that will come to my mind is heaven. Because I've associated heaven with water and that connection has become so deep. So if you really want to become happy with some of the activities that you're doing, start to create better associations. If you think by complaining you're just being real, stop being real, if I may say so, for some time. All the things that you find hard, I used to find doing my masterclasses and my webinars very hard when I started doing this work right in the beginning. And that used to make me very nervous. But you know what I started to say? No problem. If there's any technology issue, I will handle it. I have the confidence. I'm going to convert a lot of people into my course today. And I would keep on pumping myself up and make that. I am so lucky in COVID that I had work. And that's what I wanted to associate my work with. Instead of complaining about my work, I wanted to say, wow, I'm so lucky. And if you keep saying that long enough, guess what? You create that neural pathway in your brain that starts to believe what you're saying. So if anybody here wants to become more happier, I just want you to start to associate happiness with different activities. See if brushing your teeth you can be happier. See if taking a shower can make you happy. See if washing your hair makes you happy. See if putting on your makeup makes you happy. Get excited about everything and then you will see a very different energy experience rather than when we drag ourselves into an activity. Yes? How to work on our fears and be more productive. My dear sweetheart, doubt and fear are two things that are going to travel with you right till the end, okay? So the fastest way to work on your fears is to accept that they are going to travel with you. A lot of times we are waiting to get rid of our fear, while the real truth is we don't ever get rid of our fear. The fear travels with us. It's two sides, of the same coin. So you want to just accept that anytime in life you'll want to do something outside your comfort zone, doubt and fear are going to travel with you. And the more accepting you get of them, for me now, when I start to feel fearful, I start to clap. I start to applaud myself. That means I'm doing something that is stretching me. Only then fear will come. No, watching Netflix, scrolling on Instagram, playing Candy Crush is not going to give me fear. What's going to give me fear? Wanting to write a book, presenting myself on stage, launching a new project, or, trying to lose weight. Those are the things that will create fear in me. So whenever you're doing something that creates fear, pat yourself on the back and say, I'm so proud of you for doing things that create fear. That means you are on track to becoming a better version of yourself for sure. Yes? Fabulous. Tell us something about meditation. If I had to tell you something about meditation, I would say do not, do not judge your meditation, okay? There will be days you will experience bliss and there'll be days, no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to get into the zone. And that's okay. Your ability to sit with yourself, what the experience is, leave it to God. There are days when you'll have a beautiful experience. There are days where you'll feel nothing. Both are okay. So for me, what I have realized in my meditation is consistency is more important than quality. So every single day, if I can just sit with myself, whether it's guided meditation or it is breath work or it is staring at a candle or it is doing a jap, some sort of mantra 108 times. I have various, I get bored really fast. So I have like different meditations on different days. And there are days when I so enjoy my meditation that I'll go 1 hour, even though I would have planned 20 minutes. And then there are days even 20 minutes feels hard. So it's perfectly okay. The one thing I'm going to recommend to all of you is do not judge your meditation. Thank you, Manu Kapoor. Love you too, my sweetheart. Love you, Shweta. Navya Sivakoti, how to come out of the past and start my new life. I think the fastest way to come out of your past is to stop to reliving it. Okay, every time you start to relive your past, I want you to take a rubber band and pinch yourself, which means you have to stop overthinking it, you have to stop living there. Remember your future rather than your past. Now, when I say remember your future, you'll be like, how can I remember my future? First, sit and create a beautiful future in your mind and then relive it every day. And it should be so beautiful that it pulls you rather than you staying in the memories of our past. The memories of our past are like arrows in our heart. The more we stay there, the more the wound we tend to make ourselves bleed. What would have happened once, we've relived it so many times that now our wound has become like a sore, you know. So you want to be really careful. You want to get out of that. And remember, the mind does not understand vacuum. You cannot have no thought. So if you want to move from old memories to new thoughts, you have to go into what are you creating. Instead of thinking where you were 2 years from now, I want you to think where are you going 2 years from now. And the more clarity you have on the path that you're going, the more faster you will reach there. You know, in golf, my husband plays golf. One of the rules is that you keep looking at the ball even after that you've hit it. It's called follow through. So you hit the ball, but you don't stop looking at the ball. And where do you look? Where you want it to fall. So you follow through with the ball and you look till where you want it to fall. So that's what I want you to start to do in your life. I want you to start to look at a vision where you want to reach. You know, there used to be one plain road in America where there was a tree. And on the tree there was a sign saying something like drive straight or something in the manner that don't hit the tree. Okay, and they realized that almost every car that would come onto that road would land up, not almost every, but a lot of cars landed up banging the tree. And they couldn't understand that how come when there's only one tree, the car is going and hitting that tree. That's because then they realized that what's happening is that the person is going on seeing the tree and reading the sign, and so when what we see we tend to drive towards, correct? So what they did was they made the sign on the opposite side 3 feet ahead of the tree so that people's vision would go there rather than there. And so then at that point they would, from a distance they could read do not, you know, or whatever the sign was, and they saw that the accidents came down by 50%. So the more future centric you are, the more you are able to see where you are going, the lesser of the rear view you will worry about. Sushmati, ma'am, so many times I messaged you. Oh, Sushmati, have I not replied, my darling? I'll go looking for you today, okay? How to do affirmations daily. The most important thing in affirmations is that you make it in present tense. For example, I am enjoying driving my new car down ECR. Which means what? You're basically writing it in present tense and it has to have a lot of emotion in it. Which means it should leave you feeling happy and excited. So I'm enjoying, I'm ecstatic, I'm in wonderment, I'm loving, I'm, you know, those kind of words. And then you make it in present tense like as if it's already happened. That is the way to do affirmations. So I am loving how abundance is flowing at me effortlessly and easily. The more powerful your vocabulary is in your affirmations, the more they turn into what I call declarations, that you are commanding the universe to make that your new life. So I'd love for you to just download a sheet of affirmations, read them every day with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and you will start to see those will start to come automatically, miraculously into your life. Okay, so whether they are specifically created by you or you're downloading them, today if you just Google health affirmations, wealth affirmations, abundance affirmations, happiness happiness affirmations, how to attract a soulmate. To every problem, there are affirmations available. Too many on Google. Just download one such sheet and do it every day, every day, every day. You will start to see magic happening. Anshu, Puja, each word of yours is a mantra. So happy and blessed to be a part of such a beautiful tribe. Anshu, love you, my darling. How to cope up with the sudden loss of my Jijaji at the age of 56 years? Jajodia 69, to be very honest, a conversation, rather a relationship with death is a very important part of life. One of the things human beings have landed up doing is disconnecting ourselves with death. So whenever death happens, we are always in shock. Something that's going to happen to us for 100% sure, before or later is the only thing, but it's going to happen to every single person. When we know for a fact that it's going to happen with every single person, why have we made death into such a taboo topic? Why do we treat it like something bad? What if from the age of 2 you were told that, you know, all of us are going to die, and when we die is the most beautiful moment of our life, because we then go back to the Supreme. From where we had come, we go back to the Supreme. That means we've lived the journey on earth and we go back to that. That is the most beautiful, because, you know, when we meet our friend after 10 years, how we meet? With so much enthusiasm and excitement. When we meet our doggy, how do we meet? With so much love and excitement. Imagine if such things we are meeting with this level of enthusiasm and excitement, how we will meet that created us, right? And so I think when we change our relationship with death, everything changes. The most important thing to know is that the one thing that God said I will not leave it to human beings is our going away and our coming. Our birth and our death is controlled by God. Correct or no? I mean, okay, you can say that our birth is a little bit controlled by our parents also, but our soul then chooses the body. So therefore, I can say that, you know what, for most of us, what's happening is that we have started to believe that death is a bad thing. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes we've made. What if we as a culture started to celebrate death rather than mourn death? I always say this, that when someone of yours close by dies, you can actually energetically feel them. You may not be able to see their body, but you know what? You can totally have a conversation with them. Ask them to show you signs that they are around, and you will see the signs. And I always say your hotline with God becomes even better, because now what's happened? You have someone in the inner chambers of God. So when you don't even have to pray to God, just pray to the person who you've lost, and that in itself is a relationship you can create. And for everybody, you know what, more so in society, earlier on death became a bad thing because women were protected and provided by their men, and so when they died, the woman's life stopped. But that's not true today. Today when we lose someone, it's not about us, it's about losing them. So it's our love for them, it's not what will happen to me. And I think that's a very important aspect of death, that we look after ourselves. I have no idea how financially independent or how looked after is your sister, but you know what, if you see your sister suffer, death will feel like a bad thing. But if your sister is able to create good memories of remembering him in a beautiful manner rather than in grief, then I definitely feel like she'll be able to manage that better. This is a very sensitive topic. It's not easy to absorb so easily, because we've been culturally conditioned for such a long time that it's a bad thing. Yeah. And so many of us live in the fear of losing our loved ones. I'm at least of one thought that, you know what, when God believes someone needs to go, he knows better. And for me, because I have that faith and surrender, I will never question anyone's death, because in my heart I believe if their time has come and God believes their work on earth is done, who am I to decide whether they should be living alive or not, right? So I am the kind of person who likes to let go, and then I create my own relationship with that person. So see if you can start to try to do any of this. See if it makes sense. Don't do it in the first couple of months. If you've lost someone in the last 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it's too early to think like this. Right now, your family just needs to recover from the shock of losing someone so close. But I think over the months, I would love for your grief to turn into beautiful moments or beautiful memories. The more we can do that shift, the more our heart will heal faster. And one of the things I always say is, always live your life in a manner that the one who's above, when watching you, feels peaceful looking at you. If you are grieving too much, if you are too sad, if you're crying a lot, guess what's happening to their soul? They are also turning and twisting in their grave, not knowing how they can help you, and they're feeling so helpless, right? But if you are someone who starts to celebrate them and celebrate life and truly understand that it's okay, then see, when they watch you and they feel proud of you, how beautiful is that? So always live your life knowing that if they are watching, they should feel happy for you. And if they truly loved you, they won't want to see you in so much grief, hai na? Aarti Tekchandani, I can ask the universe for what I need, but somehow I can't ask specifically. And that's totally okay, Aarti. Some people have very specific asks. Some people like to leave it to God. So you ask and then you say, God ji, give me the best version of this. I trust you. I believe in you. You decide how you want it to be. So for example, while my asks are very specific, I don't set any deadlines to my ask. I always say, God, if you feel I'm ready to receive it, send it in a day. If you feel I need to still prepare myself to receive this, give it to me when you think I'm ready. So I decide what I'm going to get. He decides when I'm going to get it. And that's the equation I have. So you can just have this equation, Aarti, where you go, I know this is what I want, but which version of it, Godji, you decide. So that's a beautiful relationship. Of course, he always knows best. Miracles Blessing 248. What should I do to become a life coach? Which course should I do? Miracles, my sweetheart, get in touch with Radhika, whose number, or Gunjan, whose number will be in the thing below, and just message her and she will guide you into joining me. Why don't you just join me? Okay, there are many life coaching courses. You can Google them. If you find any teacher pulling you, you feel attracted to, go learn from them. If not, come to me, my sweetheart. I'll be happy to guide you and help you becoming an amazing coach. Okay, I'm going to go right to the bottom. Oh, we are already at 4:52. Let me quickly read all the... winners of last week challenge. Oh, by the way, I had spoken about all of you who have done this challenge. You will be invited for a webinar, or rather not webinar, a Zoom meeting on the 30th of September. So please block 30th of September. This may happen in the first half or the second half. Timing I'll announce next time. But please block your 30th of September is a date with Puja. Okay? And we'll put it in my stories, date with Puja. Quickly, do you want to take a picture or should I read the list first? Okay, take a picture and then I'll read the list. Okay? All right, one with the teacup. Earrings, please. I like that. I don't know what happened to that pair, but I can wear this pair. Really? I'm going to actually do it like right now. चले जा हाँ चले गया yeah one is enough all right, I'm just having fun with all of you. All right, everybody, let me read out quickly the list. Participants for the week: book by Tej with Kavita, Srimukh 2007, Mona Mika Bakes, Aditi Ashish Kumar, E-Cafe 12, Kaveri Shuvam, Vivek Vasanta, Innovative Tarot Trupti, Mamta Mehta, Puja Mukesh Sharma, Sparkling Soul Heals, Artist Puja Khanna, Gauri 1811, Sakina Sheikh, Image Design Consultancy, Shilpa Dadij, Shamanjeet Mindset Emotional NLP, Anita Gupta, Reset with Raki, Ujjwala Madhvi, Ruchi Chauhan, Megha Kapoor, Nisa QR, Devika Wins, Anjali Devedi, Castrology by Kajal Agarwal, Ranjana Harihar, Divya Pravi, Purti Sajwan, Kavita Jain Coach, Deval Bhatti. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to all of you who participated. And winners of the week are Priyanka Patel01 and Feel Charismatic with Gratitude. Okay? Fabulous. All right. So the one thing I want all of you to know is this month we have still 2 more weeks to go. If you are able to take a picture, put my takeaways, tag me, and I share it in my story, guess what? You can still have an opportunity to come for the 30th September conversation with me. I'm going to choose a very interesting topic that I have never covered in Insta Live and do a 30 minutes of training on that, as well as a discussion where I'll get to hear your side of the story. So we're going to have super fun. Priyanka Patil, congratulations. You are the winner this week. What do you mean I didn't take your name? Of course, darling. You have just won yourself a book. Now you've become an expert in reading names. Of course, because for so many weeks, constantly my loyalists are so sweet. I love you. You are literally family. Every week, you don't miss that opportunity. Hai na? Fabulous. So God bless each one of you. Please, please, please. Do this today. Take the photo, put the takeaways, make sure that you are tagging me, okay? Later on, don't tell me why, Puja, you didn't share, because if you don't tag me, I can't share the story, okay? And then make sure on 30th September, you get invited for a fabulous date with Puja. Yes? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Wait, if you want to click a picture with both earrings, let me quickly wear the other earring also so that you can get a picture. Okay, yes. Nadia saying, ma'am, please get my answer. Deval Bhatti saying, ma'am, I want to win a book. Deval, not to worry. I think very soon you're going to be the next person to get the book. Not to worry at all. I can't see your question, sweetheart, so I don't know how to answer. Tell me in the chat box topics that you'd love for me to cover. Can you tell me a few topics that you'd love for me to cover so that for 30th September I can start to prepare for all of you? What are the topics? Would you like me to cover boundaries? Would you like me to cover abundance and money? Would you like me to cover law of attraction? Would you like me to cover relationships? Would you like me to cover parenting? What kind of topics would be exciting for you? Yeah? Nisa QR, unfortunately, I can't see your question. So when you say, please take my question or please read my question. Honey Bhagat is saying death. Team Life by Design, can you please make a note of these topics? Paul is saying abundance and money. Sushmati Vari is saying how to help women. Beautiful. Anita is saying relationships. Manjulika is saying law of attraction. Priyanka is saying self-growth. Shraddha is saying boundaries. Innovative Tarot Trupti is saying self-confidence. Oh, please pause. Okay. Yeah? All right. Topic on bliss. Oh, wow. That'll be so interesting. Spirituality. I love that. Attracting money. Parenting, self-love, law of resonance, consistency. Love it. Nidhi saying, you missed my message, ma'am. You know, my personal apologies to each one of you here whose questions or messages I keep missing. It's so many of you, it's impossible to keep track because while I'm speaking and answering, it automatically keeps going down. So I'm not able to keep track of everyone's questions or, you know, Instagram needs to come up with a better way. Till then, you'll just have to cooperate with me. Hang ho gaya, ma'am, aapka screen. Abhi bhi hang hua hua hai? Hang hua hua hai? Fabulous. Ruchi, I love you so much, my sweetheart. Nidhi, parenting. Please do a mix of all these topics. You know what? Mix mein kya hota hai? It will turn into an Insta live. I'd love to do one topic deeply, but okay, if you want, then you come there and then I'll answer only your questions. Okay? Okay, everyone. everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I will see you next week. Bye. Ciao. Vision board. That's such a beautiful topic. I'd love to do that. Yes. नहीं हैंग हुआ किसी के लिए हैंग हुआ है किसी के लिए नहीं हैंग हुआ Okay, perfect. Thank you. How to win the book? Take a picture, put your takeaways, what you learned today, share it in your story and tag me Puja_Puneet. Okay, when I share it in my stories, you become eligible to win my book. Where to come? On 30th September, we will invite you for a Zoom session. Okay? Love it. I love all the topics. So what I'll do is I'll take all your questions specifically and then go deep in the answers. Okay? Bye everyone. Thank you for coming. See you next week. Let's have some fun.